Hello everyone, welcome to Betting on UFC Fights to Buy Fossils episode 2. So we're going to be breaking down UFC 306 and kind of what happened, my reactions, and we'll kind of just briefly go over what happened in terms of my betting. We lost $255 last night, which was not particularly good at all. Unfortunately, some of the fights didn't go as planned. Luckily, last week we made quite a bit in 314, so now we are at a total profit standing at $59. Hopefully, we'll make it back even more for, I believe, the next UFC fight night being Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis. So, to go into the actual fights, Rosas Jr. started off the card. I thought it was going to be a submission. I thought Keeling didn't have the defense for it, but for the first round, as expected, Rosas Jr. just took him down, was able to take the back, but Keeling defended just fine. No actual threat of finishing the fight. Pretty solid Rosas round, 10-9. Then for the second round, Keeling actually outstruck Rosas pretty easily. Rosas didn't really shoot that much at all, didn't go for a takedown, and that made it 1-1, which was kind of scary. But in the third round, Rosas got the takedown, and AoriQileng just couldn't do anything about it. Really unnotable fight, but one of the few Mexican wins on this card, which really fucked me over. In terms of the production, it was really funny because for this fight, I don't think they got the sound right, and there was like a bunch of spring sounds when they were bouncing around for the cage underneath. Pretty funny, pretty funny. So moving on to Chairez versus Van. Really good fight, surprisingly good fight. Chairez early on looked super fast. His leg kicks, his body kicks were really, really quick, really snappy. Were doing a lot of damage to Van, but I believe Chairez countered Van with a right hand and just dropped him. Not only that, Van was limping. He was dropped. He got finished in his last fight. I thought this might have been a Chairez finish, and until the second round, I believe, where I think Van just kept on working the body and hurt Chairez so bad. His arms were just completely away from his face, completely protecting that liver, I guess. And then Van just started going upstairs. I thought the fight was going to be finished. I feel like the fight should have been finished, arguably. There were so many unanswered shots. The only reason, I guess, it was about to be finished, and then Chairez, grabbed the cage, loaded up on a big spinning back fist, and I think it didn't drop, but it really wobbled Van really bad. Chairez afterwards looked he looked like he was about to get finished, the entire time. Luckily, they went to the ground, but I think on the feet he was going to get finished that second round. His body was so squishy. He got hurt really, really bad. I would have argued 10-8 easily for Van, and then the third round, Van just outboxed him. It wasn't anything crazy that happened in the third round, but Chairez looked really, really rough. He kept ducking down a lot, and I think that's just a free knee every time. Van loved getting into that guard, which was scary because Chairez is really good at submitting people, and he almost got triangled a few times, so he got out of it, but thankfully, this was one of the few picks I got right. rough card. Jauregui versus Souza. I picked Jauregui by decision, and Souza by submission happened. Jauregui looked good. Jauregui looked really good. She looked fast. Her combinations were really quick. She even does that upstairs into that really wide looping leg kick that the Dutch kickboxers do. But yeah, she just fought really stupid. As in, I'm pretty sure she's a longer fighter. She's better technically. She's just standing in the pocket throwing hooks with Souza. It's kind of like the whole Andrade versus, I believe, Natalia Silva situation. I expected her to snipe her out, keep on sniping her out, make Souza keep on running forward, and then you just keep her out, you kick her out, you snipe her with jabs and stuff, and keep her away and cruise to a decision. That's what I expected, and she just stood in the pocket, and I believe it was a left or right. It was a hook. A hook just knocked Souza down. Not Souza. Jauregui down completely. Souza then wrapped up a really, really tight rear naked, and she was out. Jauregui was out. Rough performance, to say the least. Jauregui looked good, but really dumb game plan. Very stupid, dumb game plan. And a trend of Mexican fighters getting almost knocked out and then pretty much just almost knocked out or knocked out by these fighters. This card was insane. Fighting spirit, huh? Anyways, Manuel Torres versus Bahamondes. Speaking about Mexican fighters getting knocked out again, I really thought Torres was going to win this fight just based off his prior work, but my God, he looked horrible. He was just running in, just no defense at all, just thinking he can smother Bahamondes, but classic step back, get away from the dumb shit, counter it, and Torres almost got finished one time. The ref gave him plenty of chances, and if you remember that Chairez fight, I would have called that fight. Gave him a lot of chances. This Torres fight, he gave him a chance as well, and then he got sniped again. Exact same thing, running in, no defense, then just counter, I think it was a right hand, and Bahamondes just, yeah, really horrible performance from Torres. Looked garbage, no defense, very poor performance indeed. Bahamondes, great job, being solid. That's what you expect from a crazy fighter. You just snipe him out when he tries to blitz in. Like, really, really bad performance from Torres. Lost me quite a bit of money. Jauregui lost me money. Yeah, rough stuff. Then to someone who lost me the most money tonight, which was Irene Aldana. I really thought she was going to be good enough, but she wasn't good enough. Norma Dumont had better striking than her, hands down. She just kept on circling away from her, and then whenever Aldana tried to throw a singular jab, Dumont just steps in and then hits her like 3 or 4 times, and Aldana just shells up and just takes it. It was a horrible performance from Aldana. Honestly, super embarrassing. I don't want to see her ever again. I'm pissed. I'm only saying this because I'm pissed because I lost money on her. But, you know, pretty good performance by Dumont. We didn't see any wrestling from her, which was really surprising, but very good performance from Dumont. I should have bet decision. Man, I kind of rage bet a little bit. If you look into the sheets later, I'm not going to go into full detail about my bets, but hey, rough shit. Wow. Rodriguez versus Osbourne is a fight. So for the first round, Osbourne just flatlined them. I think Rodriguez threw a kick. Osbourne caught the kick, and then Osbourne just threw a hook straight to that chin and dropped him. And then off of that, Osbourne then wrapped up a really deep triangle that I thought was going to get finished, but somehow Rodriguez lived out of it. After that, Rodriguez just kind of laid on top of him because he escaped the triangle, so he had top position, and that's it. So some people are saying that Rodriguez won that round. No, he didn't. He almost got finished twice. I don't know what we're talking about here. The second round, it was pretty obviously Rodriguez took the back, sat on that backpack for like the entire round, threatened submissions. I thought this was what's going to happen because Ode Osbourne got submitted by a rear naked choke for the last 2 fights. So I thought it was going to be 3 in a row. Guess not. Then the third round, so we're at 1-1. You can argue 10-8, honestly, for the first round. But 1-1, I would say, going into it. The third round, I thought Ode Osbourne won. He was beating him in the striking. He was beating him on the feet. And the only thing I think that swayed the judges was either Dana White's whispering into their ear or they think that shitty 30-second top control time from Rodriguez was good enough. Horrible judging. Horrible officiating also, because Tailloni actually waved off the fight in the first round after he got dropped. He waved off the fight, but he said, oh, never mind. Tailloni, so stupid, horrible job, horrible officiating. Jesus Christ. So Zellhuber versus Ribovics. Not much to say about this fight. Yeah, I mean, Zellhuber, he was throwing jabs, he was throwing leg kicks, doing what a long fighter should do, but Ribovics looked better in terms of striking overall, and it just translated, right? Like, and then in that third round, actually, Zellhuber dropped Ribovics by a really clean elbow, but then Ribovics just came back, hurt Zellhuber really bad, and like dumped 30 or like 40 punches onto Zellhuber that all looked like finishing strikes. Zellhuber was rolling on the ground, looked like he was going to get finished, but I don't remember who the ref was, but this should have been called off like 50 times. Horrible, horrible. I just think that the reffing in this card was horrific, and I think obviously skewed for the Mexican fighters. Really good performance from Ribovics. Zellhuber looked horrible. Nothing convincing about his performance at all, which was surprising. Maybe the Mexican fighters, like, the lights were too bright. I don't get it, man. It was really, really bad. Lost a lot of money on him. That's why I'm so upset. Diego Lopes, one of the few Mexican fighters who actually showed up. Really good job. Almost knocked out Brian Ortega in the first round. Other than that, second round, Brian Ortega kind of won that, in my opinion. Brian Ortega had decent striking that second round, but in the third round, Lopes was landing power shots. One issue, though, I do see is that Lopes did have some mediocre cardio, so that could be a pain point. But he just looked so solid, and was decently smart. Didn't go into Brian Ortega's world and get submitted, though it got a little scary at times. Really clean. Ortega has a chin on him. So, Grasso versus Shevchenko. It went, I think, how I said in the breakdown, which was Shevchenko is going to wrestle fucker, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen. This is one of the few fights that I called and got me money back, which thankfully I picked Shevchenko by decision. Luckily, we made some money back. Grasso looked just completely lost, even though she looked pretty good in terms of her defensive BJJ. Like, she was threatening triangles, she was threatening, I think on an omoplata, she was threatening arm bars, but other than that, like, she looked okay. Nothing happened in terms of the feet. Everything was in that top position for Shevchenko. Shevchenko almost had an arm triangle, I think, and she had a crucifix position, like, at the end of the round. Good performance by Shevchenko. Boring as shit, though. Really, really boring. Really, really boring. These top fights, like this title fight and then the next one, extremely boring because it was kind of the same thing from Dvalishvili, except it wasn't top control. It was just, it kind of was just top control. Dvalishvili ran over Sean O'Malley. That's kind of what I mentioned, I think, in my fight breakdown, which is just Sean O'Malley. I mean, Jose Aldo has better takedown defense. Piotr Jan has better takedown defense. Henry Cejudo has better takedown defense. Why would O'Malley be any different? I thought it would be because of the striking, but O'Malley was too scared. He was too scared in the striking, and you can't have that against Merab. You just can't. One funny moment, I think, for the fight was that Merab kissed him when, like, having kind of that position where he was on the neck and just standing up while Sean was sitting down. Really, really, really boring fight, to be honest. Really boring, but great performance by Merab. Congrats, you fucking nerd. Probably him versus Umar next. Rough to watch at like 3 a.m. 2 a.m. for me. Like, staying up for a really boring fight. I thought O'Malley was gonna turn it on with some crazy read, but nope. As expected, for me at least. Like, I picked O'Malley to win by KO because I thought Merab was going to be worse, but really great job by Merab. Imposed his game plan, did what he had to do. Yeah. So, I hope you guys like the new layout I have here. I think this really breaks down the information way better. I think September 28th will be Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis, which is the next card. So 2 weeks from now. Unfortunately, I wish it was next week. I'd like to get betting again, hopefully make my money back, but it is what it is. A couple days before that fight, I'll bring out all of my predictions for it in a similar format to this. I hope you guys like it quite a bit. If you have any suggestions, let me know. But hopefully we can start progressing in the right direction in terms of getting some fucking fossils. All right, take care, everyone.